Now, it may get bigger, it may get a little bigger, it may not get bigger at all. We'll see what happens. But regardless of what happens, we're totally prepared.
It has been the honor of my life to serve you. I won't stop. In fact, I will be right there with you as a citizen.
Was an ex-commando. He killed 16 Chechen rebels single-handed.
Get the fuck out of here.
Welcome to Monday Morning Middle of the Road. I'm your host, Coach Casey, and joining me in studio, back from across the country, it's TJ. What's up, buddy?
I'm back.
He's back.
So glad to be out of there.
Well, you're going to get about a 50% me this week. Give you everything I have.
What happened?
Well, it's fantasy football draft time. I drank too much. It's the one time a year I go all out. I let my inhibitions go. Okay, I do that quite a bit. No, it was fantasy football draft time. Drank too many beers. Monsooning made the wife and the boy come pick me up last night. The boy drove the car in his first monsoon to drive me and Matt. We took Matt home.
Hirsch?
No, Scaglione.
Oh.
Which is his league, and he was drunk too, and we were the last two there. So drove him home.
Nice.
Yelled at the boy while he was doing his best. I mean, I
way to encourage him.
I don't even know if I necessarily was yelling at him, but
Amy came too, or just him?
Well, Amy drove. So I drove my car there.
Oh, so they came and drove.
Yeah. So she dropped him off.
I see.
To drive us home. That way we could, get my car. I wanted my car. I didn't want to leave it there. I was afraid that, those guys would try to steal it or whatever they would maybe do.
One of those like hobo sex things. What do they call that?
Yeah, where they do have all
soup kitchen.
Yeah, in the middle of it. So we're sponsored this week by Amazing Green Landscape. It's the second time we've been sponsored by a
mowing company.
But that's what we're gonna do. As you get to know me and TJ, that's what we did. That's where we met. That's where we came from. I learned a lot from my years mowing. You talked about it on the shows, how you missed those days. So
I miss being young and not having any responsibility.
A lot of our friends and people in the industry are still in that. So Amazing Green reached out, said, hey, he'd seen a couple shows and love to sponsor. So, and he's our biggest sponsor today at $100. So
wow.
I didn't mean to put that out there. I know now everybody knows we're making crazy money. And we didn't actually get that.
We're going to have to hire security.
I think he just, he offered $100. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. What have you been doing since you've been back?
Well, let's see here. I got back.
We've talked about it. I guess we hinted around about it. We talked about it on a couple of shows.
So I guess we should just say what's happening then, huh?
TJ, yeah, you tell them. I mean, it's you.
Okay,
it's
so
not me.
I've been traveling the road for the last 12 years. I mean, all over the country. I've probably driven.
He's been everywhere, man.
Everywhere. Out working for the pipeline, and I finally decided I've had enough, and I applied for a job back here at home, and I got it. And I start Monday. Kind of the same, not the same, but kind of the same. I was an inspector on the pipeline, and I'm going into a different form of inspecting, but this is going to be an actual company job where I have an office and a company truck.
Did you only do it because I always say, like every time I talk about the oil industry, so like right now, and not you per se, because you do more natural gas stuff. I'd been doing more natural gas stuff or whatever.
We do crude too, or I did.
But you guys work more when Democrats are in office for some reason.
No, well, the stuff I was doing on the pipeline is DOT regulated maintenance, so it had to be done no matter what the price of oil is. Okay. Now they would try to be cheap, and there was levels to it, like things that have to be done immediately, pressure reduction type stuff, and then they have so many years to do the work, which it's all planned out years ahead of time. But anyways, I gave notice to my company that I actually directly work for, and the third party company that I was inspecting for, and
they said peace.
I honestly thought the guy that I was working for directly out there for the gas company was going to fire me on the spot, but he was actually really cool about it. I was gonna stay until Friday and then leave like Friday or Saturday, but scheduling wise, it ended up I got to leave on Thursday. So I'm pretty happy, and I haven't had a job in over 12 years where I report to the same place every day or go into an office or
stay in the same city or
well,
the same.
I'm going to
area.
travel a little bit within Kansas, but I definitely have never had an office before, which is cool. They even he texted me on Friday and was like, how do you want your nameplate to read for your office? I was like, dang, I'm going to have a nameplate on my office?
Have you thought about being knighted before then so you could be Sir TJ Curry?
And
then everybody would have to call you Sir?
Well, I mean, I did go through Squires. I didn't quite become a knight of Columbus, but I was a Squire.
Okay, so Squire
TJ Curry,
yeah. Squire TJ Curry.
That's what I should have said. I don't know if you know this, but I used to be Catholic. And no, I haven't been molested by a priest.
Well, recently, not
since I was 4.
Not since I was conscience. Yeah, not
since I was in elementary school.
My uncle tells me the story. Yeah. I don't remember it.
The way they tell it to me, that didn't happen. But no, we're pretty excited. I'm excited. My wife's excited. My stepkids are excited. My real kids don't seem to care yet.
Well, they don't know yet.
They don't understand.
Won't affect as much right away until they're. Next time they're down or you're around them or whatever, I think then they'll see that one, knowing you're here, the stress of certain things. But also now your vacations can be taken.
I could plan them?
Well, yeah, and going to see
like a
them,
real person?
Or you guys can, or figure out things like that to where instead of your vacation being just to come home and spend time with your family, now your vacation
actually take a real vacation? Yeah.
So
I've been taking vacations for the last 12 years, and I'm glad it's over with, so.
Well, and that was a lot of the reason, even me taking the job I'm at, and I say currently that, it was going to be a temporary job when I took it. It was always my intention was I wanted something to get set hours. I owned my own company, so I was just working insane hours or, no set schedule. Same thing, even though I was the owner, because I was a small company, I couldn't take
couldn't take time off.
Yeah, and I couldn't take vacations. You couldn't do that stuff. If you did, it was the winter when you can't do nothing or when you can't afford to, or you're waiting for snow, or every time you think about doing something.
Something was always coming up.
Something was always coming up. So that's the reason I did this, and I was getting into the coaching. And then now as the kids are getting out of school and they're not doing the sports, it's, kind of, do I want to keep doing this, or am I looking in the future of a, situation like you're in? To me, like we've talked about it on a couple different shows, I'm really getting into and enjoying, which is such a regression, but the mechanicking and figuring out how to pursue that, even if that's maybe me not actually starting a mechanic till I'm in my 50s or whatever, starting out, taking some class, get AES certified in brakes, or and then maybe hydraulic lines or something. So
I feel kind of like it's basically starting all over with life now, and I feel like now we can have
a start. So it's not, you're not starting over at zero. I mean, at necessarily zero. You have, you're not in a giant hole. You're not down in a hole.
Well, I'm living a different life than I have in 12 years. That's for sure. And being home, and then more time for stuff for friends that I haven't had in the last long time.
Now you have to make some friends.
I have to remake friends.
I've been the only one that stayed here because I work better only in seeing somebody once every couple months.
Well, now we're going to see each other all the time, so tough shit.
Well, we've been lately, so we're going to get to a couple stories. A story that's local that I said was done. I said we were done talking about. I said we put a cap on it. I think I even hit, like I sealed it or I did something.
This dude done messed that all up for us.
Here locally, we're year 36 now into voting on. No. We had another suing and recount possibly going on. It won't go away, but he can only technically at this point, it sounds like, sue the one county. So I don't think
I don't understand what this dude's wasting his money for.
But what's like me, I wish he'd just give it to us, because we'll
count it.
Yeah, I'll count. Give me whatever, I'll count. I'll even give him the election results he wants. It won't matter.
How much per vote? Like per thing? Is it per?
Well, I don't know. He's paid so far. I think he's up to like $210,000 he's paid in recount. If he just gave me $150.
Is he using his credit card too?
I don't
What
know.
kind of points he getting back on that?
Oh, if he's flyer miles, do you think he might just be doing this?
He's gonna fly to Mars on these points.
What if
he's
this is like something where like he's like a rich kid or whatever, and he's figured out a tax loophole, and he's just gonna do this as like some sort of write off, and he don't have to pay now. He
doesn't really care. He just was like, you know what?
Yeah, this would be funny if they just keep talking about it. Some
Yeah.
stupid little podcast keeps talking about it. So.
Yeah, he's like, these guys in
So don't-
Wichita, Kansas keep talking
Basically,
about
they
me.
even said if he were to somehow at this point get what he wanted and the recount were to turn.
Oh, here he is. Dude, look at those chops.
Oh, he's creepy looking. He's creepy.
We need to you need to get that.
that look. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about changing my look.
What do they call those, mutton chops?
I could do it. I mean, I just shave it and
Do that.
go right into him.
Let's see that next week.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. He hopefully they all this with him. I don't know where he's coming with the money. One, but hopefully they look into him and somehow find out with all this, all of his pedophilistic open stuff. Or I mean, because is he the guy that is anti it because he raped his sister and she had an abortion and couldn't have his kid?
Yeah, he's
Or-
pissed.
That's what it looks like.
His name's Mark Gitson.
Mark
Geitzen?
Gitson, shut up, man.
Yeah, everybody's sick of you.
We're done.
Get out of here. Quit
Left,
wasting everybody's
right,
time.
You're wasting our time.
This
So-
dude doesn't know that college football just started. We don't have
we're
time
done.
for this
Yeah,
bullshit.
This was a fun story to talk about
Yeah.
up until college football. And we got good MMA going on. Wrestling's getting better.
Yep.
Basketball's around the corner. I mean, there's too much going on. We had opening football college weekend this weekend.
Did you watch any of it?
A couple games. There wasn't. I watched Nebraska. I
Me
thought-
too.
And then I watched them lose. Actually, I didn't. I watched them what I thought was win. I left to go do something to find out that they end up losing still.
Yeah, I have a couple buddies from the pipeline, Aaron and Brandon. They're twins, and I sent them a picture of the start of the game. I said, "How hard are you two right now?" And Aaron was hard, but Brandon wasn't, and we were snapping back and forth towards the game, and Aaron wasn't very happy at the end.
So,
Supposedly, it's like 21 games that they've lost by a single score
Well,
since Scott Frost has been the coach.
but they also beat the same team, and every year. And college football is probably a huge example of how a team can change from year to year by a little bit of turnover. But they beat them 52-0 last year, if I recall, and then to lose and to be. I mean, it was a back and forth game.
Yeah.
but I just don't get it. So
I thought it was weird.
that was
You
the
know,
biggest choke for early in the season. You
well,
know that.
it's the first joke of the season. And then I watched UConn and Utah State, a little bit of that, but I fell asleep and then came back on.
Yeah, I didn't see no real great games. I watched some preseason football just because it's weird because you got Brady was playing last night. You had Mahomes play in their preseason game. A lot of teams
it was
didn't
like
play.
they set the second but played the third. That was weird.
But a lot of guys didn't play their starters on their teams at all. You know, like Rodgers, I don't think took a snap. I don't think Dak took a snap. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't understand how they do. I've been watching Hard Knocks and like Goff didn't play
And
last week.
I guess I get partially because like the last 2 weeks the Cowboys have went all week against like the Chargers 1 week and then I don't remember who it was,
You're
but
talking about like the preseason practice,
Yeah, but were
live
they-
practice,
so-
live scrimmage things.
you know they were going against other team starters all week and doing
Yeah.
that. So it's not like they're not getting work, but I still don't
They're
get
getting reps.
I just don't. Again, it brings me back to it's because the Cowboys have won 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls, and they already know.
They already know.
Yeah, they're hot. They're going. We talked about it on the other show, and you brought up for the show the Manti Te'o. I know that's not what you're on now, but you said you watched the Manti Te'o
I did.
documentary. I watched basically just a recap on it, but like I said, and we all owe Manti Te'o an apology, and you came right in here, and the first thing you said and you talked about that was, without saying that, you affirmed we all owe him an apology. He's a super good dude.
Yeah.
He got screwed.
You can't make a better guy than that guy unless there's some more shit that nobody knows about. But I mean, gosh,
Could you imagine, though, being like, you go back and play that, you know, like when it was going on, dude is top 10 football player in the country.
he's a fucking destroyer.
Maybe
He probably would have won the Heisman if Manziel wouldn't have won it. He would have
Maybe
won it that
best
year.
at his position.
Yeah.
You know, loses, was it his mom or dad?
Grandma.
Okay. Right before, you know, the game. Then
Same day.
supposedly loses this girl who
Yeah.
he's been obviously catfished by, had never met her. People even, that's why it was hard when like guys like me heard the story first come out, and why you automatically jumped to assume he was lying was because people right around him were saying his sister came out really early on and said, or sister or somebody close, a friend said, no, we told him she wasn't real. There was no way this girl was real. I mean, blah, blah, but he just didn't believe us. And I mean, there were so many people that were telling him that it can't be real. But
Yeah, they showed like all this stuff
you
like
also
where
hear
he was.
about people, women that are with a guy who's actually beating him, and people telling them to, and
Yeah.
they keep going. So
You
when
don't-
you're in love or weird
don't wanna
love,
hear,
or when
yeah.
you're blind to something, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what they're saying.
Yeah, that they played like voicemails and stuff from her, or whatever.
Whoever
it was.
him.
Yeah, but this person's just transgender now. So
Okay.
now
So well, he now they could date.
but
and it-
now she's like a fat, ugly
Oh.
chick.
So it ruined her life too, or them's life too.
I don't know. I think he knew it, but yeah. Anyways, it's pretty shitty though.
Well, go watch that. See what your take is on it. And then I don't know. Get on Twitter. Get on somewhere and apologize to Manti-Teo.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Maybe we might even call this show, hashtag apologize to Manti-Teo. I don't know. Is that trending? We're trying to hit. We're getting on TikTok lately, and we're trying to. I put a couple good videos up. I got a like from you. Bunch of views, 243 views on one of them. I mean, it's getting out there.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. We are everywhere. We're on Anchor, Podbean, Stitcher, wherever,
Spotify.
iTunes.
Yep.
Apple,
Facebook.
I mean, we're everywhere. So go find us. Go to Twitter though. Go to TikTok and find us. Like us. I don't know what. I changed my page to a TikTok page because I'm learning. I only just watch TikTok videos. I'd never made one. I'd never posted one. So I just went and changed mine in the temporary, but I think we'll make a real page and go from there. So.
Oh, before I forget, I need to say today is my parents' 40th anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary, Karate
Yep.
Tom.
That's a pretty big deal in today's day and age to make it to 40 years. So
you said your dad was almost 60?
my dad will be 60 in October.
So they've been married since they were 20. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean,
she was 12, he was 20. It
my
was
mom
different
graduated in 82 and my dad was the year before. So as soon as she got out of high school, they got
times. It was
married.
weird, though. She was like that Doogie Howser situation where she was 14 when she graduated. I'm just messing with you.
She was, she might have only been 17 when she graduated. Just turned 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Young love, been together. They went to the same school together,
Yep.
middle school, all that.
I would assume so.
You never sat down and had the love story told to you?
No. But
Well, congratulations.
yeah, big deal.
Well, speaking of big deals, you wanted to do a story about celebrity big dongs. We weren't going to get to that yet. That was the only transition I had into.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one, but we can talk about that another time.
A little early for it in the
Yeah.
show. In political news, and maybe I'll get his take on it, my take on it. The Inflation Act has recently passed. A lot of money didn't go to a lot of great places. That had actually passed in the last show since we had talked, but we didn't really talk about it. There's some real good things for a guy like me whose AC just went down his house, and you want to get a new AC. They have a rebate program where they'll pay you back basically half of the price on your taxes.
You have to apply for it, or
Yeah, you will. I mean, you'll have to file on it, but I think if you have a company do it or you have the receipts, you file it with your taxes. We're reading the story because it doesn't technically kick in until 23, so we're trying to see if we have it done because my heater's still working.
Yeah.
So I don't got much longer. I need the AC.
So you have no AC in your house right now?
AC-ish.
Okay.
I have AC light. I have AC.
Good thing it's not hot
I have
outside.
diet AC.
Yeah.
Much like the studio diet AC. It works. We'll make it. We're
Yeah.
surviving. Everybody's, we don't have nobody young in the house or old. So we don't have to be too cool. And then to me, the only other one that I think people, it's kind of funny to watch. And whether I agree or not, and I should bring up, I read the whole thing and I don't have that story up, but is the college debt getting wiped. And it's not actually college debt getting wiped. It's certain portions of it and some of the people that basically are guaranteed to never pay it back.
Yeah, it's like if you make under $125,000 a year, you're entitled to $10,000 towards your student debt.
And then certain people qualify for more. But there is what I heard in the same, we're waiting to see because nothing's actually done yet, but
It's got to get passed.
people
and
are
shit
freaking
first, right?
out. Like, what about those fuckers that just kept going to college or kept borrowing, like extra money just to live? Well, certain money of that's not getting paid back. It's the money direct to, so there's certain parts of it that aren't, and certain parts that are. To me, my reaction is more just everybody freaking both ways or not without knowing all of the details.
It is. It's just annoying to anybody who's ever paid their money.
You're
know?
right. I promise I get it. But it's one of the, I mean, we knew, I guess you didn't know it was going to happen. He ran on it. And he actually ran on doing a lot bigger, worse one than this. So for him to he had to do, unfortunately, something. Well, I don't know. He didn't have to, I guess. In his eyes, he thought he had to do something.
I saw some video of, what's a fake Indian chick? What's her name?
The fake Indian chick.
Yeah.
The one that married her brother?
No, she's not a real Indian.
Warren.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren. She's not fake Indian.
She's not.
She's had a little Indian in her.
Yeah, I bet she's had an Indian in her a few times, but it doesn't mean she has any in her blood.
Well, she released it. She's 1.100 billionth gigawatt of.
So is everybody. But anyways, it was some guy talking to her about it, and he goes, "What about me?" He goes, "I paid for my kids' student loans. I didn't go on fucking vacations. I didn't do all this and all this." And she was just like, tough shit. She tried to shake his hand. He goes, "I'm not shaking your fucking hand."
Well, and I get that too, but I think
it just shows you like it's all built for the irresponsible anymore. It's like things are catered towards people who don't want to fucking work for it anymore. And that's true no matter what side you're on this thing. Like,
yeah, but I don't know if that is for everybody that is going to take advantage of it. I don't know that that's true because everybody's looking and again, this is where it's your view and my view. You're looking at it as we're only paying back motherfuckers that aren't paying back or aren't gonna. I'm looking at it as there's people that have been paying on their student loans for 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, and I get that. But they also borrowed the money.
No, I'm with you 100%. And a lot of them aren't even necessarily before this asking for it. And they now qualify for it, and they've been paying them.
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean,
but to me, the other side of it is we hit the front door of a recession in our country. Technically 2 down GDP quarters, we're in a recession.
Not according to Biden. That's not how it works.
We're definitely not in a Bush recession. We're not in a jobs are low, everything's crashing around you. You know, we're high inflation, still good job numbers. I mean, we're in a weird recession because people are still spending money. People that aren't are only holding back because they hear we're in a recession. So, but again, we are in a recession. But what made the huge part of the first recession was the housing market crashing. We were within about 5 years from this student loan thing. One, it had become the second biggest debt in our country. I think the problem is we attacked the wrong thing. They should have went after colleges. They should have went after colleges should have to pay this back. Any colleges that
yeah, if anybody's paying it back, it should be the colleges and not
recording
us.
a profit. I mean, even me, my daughter. I mean, luckily.
That's what I was gonna say. You're not. Lucky you got Blaze.
So we still paid between her going to school when she was in because she did the early college stuff.
Yeah,
we paid somewhere around $5,000 to $7,000 to put her all through that.
But you're not gonna get that back.
Nope, and that's okay because she's got a great education and she gets to go into life not starting with $70,000 debt. She gets to think about buying a house.
Yeah,
and I would have, and that was my agreement I would have paid their fucking debt any way that I had to. But I also know a couple girls whose parents are one of Blaze's best friends that do completely well enough who's now dropped out of college because she doesn't want to accrue the debt because nobody will help her. And she did screw up a little bit in school and didn't get the scholarships that Blaze got. But even like this year, Blaze wanted to do a double major and she did great throughout school. So most of it was paid for, but we had to pay for a chunk of it this year. And I don't care. I mean, she could have borrowed and we could have made her do that and it wouldn't have been very much still, but I didn't want that for her. It's the reason I didn't go to college. And yes, now I wish I would have now that all this is going on, but it's a reason because I couldn't afford it and I could have did all the loan, but I didn't want to have a house payment and a student loan payment. I looked at my brother who is 45 and still paying off loans. He's going to qualify for this and finally get his loans paid off 30 years.
A little bit of it paid off. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I get the point, like it's helping people, but it's still not fair to anybody who's ever paid it for it themselves.
No, I'm with you.
I mean, I have student loans that I paid off.
It's the same with food stamps. Isn't fair to anybody that fucking doesn't.
So what are they going to do to people? Like I know certain people who maybe defaulted on their student loans and can't get their tax money and all that shit like that. What are they going to do for those guys?
Know. Well, again, though, if it's only $10,000 forgiveness, what's your But
if you're behind on, whatever. But it's still not. It's just I don't like it, but.
I don't like it either, but the alternative was, and the thing that I pulled for was, and what I would have been happier with was free state college, because to now have a decent paying job, I mean, unless you've been in the industry for a long time or you fall into something, and we're maybe in that year or 2 year transition where that doesn't mean as much as it did 5 years ago, but you have to have a college degree to do anything. And to get a 4-year degree at even a decent school, if you don't get loans and don't have kids that pay for, or parents that pay for it for you, it's $40,000 to $60,000 or what. I mean, if you want to go to your school, K-State or KU, sorry, you want to go to.
Don't ever say that again.
Either one, but you want to go to that school, it's like $35,000 a year, man. I mean, it's crazy. I can't. To me, again, and yeah, you're right. We should. But those kids that were dumb, imagine all the things you did at 18. And so many other people just get to file bankruptcy. It's the same thing. If you're mad at them, then you should fucking be mad at every motherfucker that ever filed bankruptcy. Or, the fact that bankruptcy exists, but there's not a protection for student loan, that a person can't file student loan protection. So.
Yeah, I understand
there
that.
There should have been a different way done about it. But this, yeah. I'm not, again, saying I agree or disagree. I just think that we had to clear some debt, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
It's just another pass on.
Everything is.
Yeah.
Well, money's fake, though.
I wish it was fake, because I could take some fake money right now.
Ours, it's not fake for us. But
it's not fake for real grown-ups.
Yeah, it's fake for everybody else, though.
Yeah.
It's fake for governments and countries and big, giant corporations. So, what, you had some sports stuff. I know most of you had some wrestling stuff.
Well, this sports news I have is, it's kind of more than just sports, but the Buffalo Bills released punt god Matt Araiza. I don't know how you say his last name. Araiza? Supposedly he's was involved in a lawsuit accusing him and two others of gang rape of a 17-year-old while he was going to college in San Diego.
Really?
From what I've read, supposedly this guy, according to him, obviously he didn't have anything to do it. He did supposedly have sex with this girl beforehand, and then she came inside and she was, drunk and passed out, and a couple other guys had their way with her. Either way, he was, it seems like now, no matter what, you're guilty. It used to be innocent until proven guilty, but now it's like guilty until you can prove your innocence anymore, because nobody wants a PR headache of any kind of negative bullshit anymore. So, like, he's not even getting a chance, even if he had nothing to do with it. His reputation destroyed before the facts are proven.
Yeah, and that and there's where there's the, I agree with you 100%, and then the other side of it is, forever you didn't believe, or it was the opposite. It was you had to prove. So there's somewhere, but if she doesn't have any kind of evidence, or there's not corroboration or whatever, then it blows my mind. You would think there's probably something more than just her word, but it doesn't take that anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it depends how powerful you are or where you're at. So that it still goes to that. But a guy like Harvey Weinstein's in jail because of hearsay. Technically.
Yeah, but he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with that. And, that's a whole nother story, but yeah.
But if hearsay, if that, that almost, not that exact story, but we have a sitting Supreme Court justice that a beautiful young lady sat up and told a story about him assaulting her, years and years before, and that was not believed, so it's like, what makes a story believable, or what, is there something else in a person's past, or, I don't know.
Well,
if he didn't do it, God damn it, you feel bad for him. If he did it, then you hope he fucking does get fucking impaled or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you keep letting him kick and he possibly did it? Do you take it away from him and he didn't do it? So that's where I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I don't know what the right thing is, but I think you should have to.
Canceling everybody immediately is, I agree,
yeah,
it's
wrong.
Immediate
cancel now. It's like, oh.
But again, is it though? Well, I guess it is, because even like Deshaun Watson, as soon as that stuff came out about him, he was canceled, zero proof, zero anything. Yes, I know it's 23 allegations, 29, 450, whatever it is, but it's weird how everybody automatically jumped to him being accused him of, he had to have done it. There's no way he didn't. On the facts, to me, I don't know how you don't think he didn't, but now there is 4 or 5 girls that have come out and basically said, no, I consensually did it. He paid me some
Yeah, of
extra,
course.
and I sued the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I mean,
Is he a weirdo that has a weird fucking fetish? Yes, or
he's into some weird shit.
or did
that's
he
for sure.
did he force it on 4 of them and not 20? Or whatever it is. I don't know. But again, it was the same thing with him. It was literally he got suspended without actually being suspended, but an entire year last year is now going to be suspended 11 more games. And if he did it, then he fucking should be. If he hurt somebody, he should be. But we're still hypothetical. Of course, he got $230 million, so he didn't really suffer.
He's not suffering. Do you see the deal about George Foreman? That same thing
that's what
from
I'm saying.
1970.
Well, we'll even look at. Of course, most of it's been possibly proven to be true about him, but Bill Cosby sitting right to your right. All his stories were 15, 20, 10 years plus
I just
old.
don't understand. That's 50 fucking years ago.
Somebody.
I mean, you just if I don't. I have 5
part of
daughters,
it
and
is-
you have a
okay,
daughter.
Here's part of it. Because some laws have just changed and statute of limitations in certain states and stuff got opened up to this weird 55-year or whatever thing. And so maybe when it used to be a 2-year statute of limitations, so no matter, I don't know that
Yeah.
she hasn't went 5 times in the past. That's what I don't know.
No,
But-
we don't know. I'm just saying,
because he
I
was-
sure
how
hope
old
if
was
something
he?
ever happened to one of my kids, they'd tell me right fucking away so I
But
could
a
kill
lot
this
of them
motherfucker.
don't, but you hear it, man. There's so many of these girls that come out that are traumatized, think their dad's going to think they did something wrong or put themselves in the wrong
Well,
situation.
that's the thing that
You've
we
gotta
need to
do
tell
as a
our
parent.
kids
You're right.
that if
But a lot
something like that
don't.
happens to you, it's not your fault, no
But
matter
even-
what it
and
is.
back then, those conversations especially didn't happen.
Well, on Monday morning, middle of the road, we're opening eyes to young women out there that
Yes,
if
tell-
anything does happen to you, you tell your dad or
Tell
your
a
mom
figure,
or
tell an
whoever,
adult.
tell somebody,
Yeah.
because it's not your fault.
Go to the cops. Go
And-
immediately.
And let your dads know so we can beat the shit out of somebody.
well, maybe go to your mom and then get a cop involved. Then tell your
No,
dad because
tell-
the
tell your
dad's gonna-
dad. He's ready
Dad
for
might be
something.
going to jail.
It would be worth it, trust me. I would
know, but-
kill somebody if
I
they
know,
ever
but
did
that's what
anything
I'm
to one of
saying,
my
though.
kids.
But then you go to jail for life potentially, and I know it's worth it. You're right. It probably is worth it. But then you're not there to protect them down the road. Look, we've got an ex-champion in prison right now for
That's true.
Cain Velasquez for taking the law into his hands, which that guy probably would have eventually paid his time. But again, you see it from the
Yeah,
outside.
it's
get
true,
It.
yeah.
No, I don't know how.
I just watched this
I've
story.
had some guys, some young men just break my daughter's heart, and it took everything I had not to go beat their fucking faces.
Let's kill him.
You know?
I just watched a story about this guy, Gary, what's his name? Jeffrey Doucette. This was from the early 80s. He supposedly raped this guy's son, and the dad found out about it. They arrested this guy. It was on the news. He caught this guy that waited for him. He got a report from a news anchor about where this guy was going to be and when he was there. He stood at the payphone, waited for him, had a hat on and sunglasses. The guy walked right past him, blew his fucking head off.
Yeah, I seen.
And he didn't get in trouble at all.
Yeah, because he filed like a dad. God, what would they call it?
They just said the guy deserved it.
There was one, and maybe it wasn't that same one, but it was a similar thing, but it was like in the courtroom, or not in the courtroom, but in the waiting to walk by, and it was the same thing. Like they're walking by with him, and he shoots him.
Yeah.
And he ended up. I don't remember what it was, but they got it was extreme distress, or I don't remember what they claimed for him, but it basically got. I mean, he ended up doing probation and stuff, but got out of it.
Yeah, they said basically that this guy, it would serve no purpose to put him in jail for doing that. Like he basically did the world a favor.
Well, yeah. Well, I wish. It sucks.
It should be like that. But
It should be, but it's not. You can't. That's why we have a law system. You take it into your hands. That's why we have police. But,
yeah.
Touch my kids and see what I do. I don't know.
Exactly.
What else do you have? I did have one other thing, and since it's the new world we live in, it's contested elections. This one's near and dear to my heart because it's my boy PJ Penn. In Hawaii, he is contesting an election, where he ran for mayor. And I just lost the story. So
In Hawaii,
where he's from, he's one of those guys.
what was he running for?
Mayor of something or Congress. God dang, I don't know what. I was trying to take one story out of my way, and I closed the whole story. And now
Oh,
it's
no.
gone. Oh man, BJ Penn. But he hasn't won anything in so long. I don't know why governor is what he's running for.
Oh, really? What's her name? That chick? Isn't
She's not. No,
Tulsi Gabbard?
Yeah, she hasn't been. She stepped out. I don't know what. I don't even know what. I don't know if she's anything right now. He blames the loss on voter suppression.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's got to go very far in Hawaii. I guess it's got to go from island to island,
BJ
right?
Penn is still fighting. I don't know if he's using that same guy that is recontesting the Kansas results and helping getting some funding. But despite the fact that the difference between the winner, Duke Anonia's voter count and BJ Penn's was fairly steep, he still wants it contested. Just said that there was suppression, and he lost by like 15% or points or something. It was pretty big. So I just thought it was funny that he ran for something. The guy can't win. He hasn't won in
can't win a fight and can't
win
win
an election. He can't win. There was a story. It's probably been 5 or 6 months ago, but he got in a fight with somebody like out in the streets and got whooped.
He did?
Yeah, it got split up, and
But some guy was getting some licks on him.
Yeah, the guy held his own with a guy that's they always said don't mess with the like a MMA guy because they'll kill a regular guy. But
could you imagine?
I'd like to fight BJ Penn, especially now.
He'd still beat the shit out of you.
But it'd be cool to say. It's different than if I go just get beat up by a random dude at a bar. But if it's like Conor McGregor or BJ Penn, or are you still a Conor McGregor fan?
As
a fighter, is that what you like? You realize he's like a huge piece of shit, right?
Yeah, but those are my type of guys.
It is. Why?
Because I'm a heel.
I just seen a video where he's partying on a boat.
I sell that.
And
Would
the
it
dude
look like
throws
his wife?
in the hat.
Oh,
No.
I didn't see that.
Like I went and found the actual video, and it's like a fan has one of his hats, throws it at him like why
To get him to sign it or
Yeah.
something?
And he takes
toss it
it-
in the water?
No, he takes it and he like does this weird like smile to the guy, and then takes it and puts it on the ground and just fucking stomps it, and then just turns around and walks away. It's like, why would you be a fan of that piece of shit, man?
I just like
my favorite thing is
his
watching
shit
him.
talking is what I like.
See, and I do and I don't. I don't know, man. His is like I loved Mike Tyson's. I like even a guy that I hated. What's your rest?
Tito.
No,
Roman.
he calls fights now, and he's God damn it, he was.
Big guy?
No, he's
Daniel Cormier?
no.
Dominic Cruz?
We're getting closer. He's a smart ass. He used to always be on Rogan. He was on. God damn it. You would know he
Calls fights for UFC?
Yeah, he fought at like 170.
Michael Bisping?
Yeah, no, not Bisping.
God dang
damn it. We're getting closer though.
What is he, white or black?
He's white. It's
Dominic Cruz?
just- no, you fucking love him because he's hardcore.
Oh, you're talking about he doesn't call fights. You're talking about what's his name with the Kobe Covington?
No,
God
damn,
damn,
we've
I have
named
no
every
idea.
single UFC fighter besides him, and he was on a couple Ultimate Fighters. As soon as I think of him, you'll be like, oh my god.
Oh, Brennan Schaub?
Nope. God damn it. He never fought at 170. He was like 270.
Well, but he's on Rogan all the
He
time.
is on Rogan quite a bit. This guy was also on. God damn it, who was he on all the time? He was on ESPN for a while.
Dude, I have no idea.
God damn it!
This is great radio,
Now, man,
though.
it's gonna make me so mad. We'll find it, and I'll come back and I'll edit that in where
Okay.
I know who he is.
That's what makes us unique.
Well,
I tell you what I want to talk about, though.
What do
I
you
want
wanna
to talk about my man, Roman Reigns, coming up on 2 years as Universal Champion. They're having a celebration on Saturday or on Friday on SmackDown for it, but they already pre-recorded it because they're going to be in the UK or wherever they're going to be for this Clash at the Castle.
because is he fighting
Drew
McIntyre for the
McIntyre.
championship?
Yeah.
Surely he'll lose it there, right? Is
I
it
don't-
time? I'd play the sounder, but we got kicked off last.
Yeah,
week,
we
so-
can't. I don't know. Is it time?
You don't want him to, and I know you.
I don't want him to.
But do people start losing?
Here's what I think should happen. At somehow
People are gonna be so mad if he wins and it's not Brock.
Well, it's not going to be Brock ever. He's not. What I think, whoever beats him, it needs to be to make a star out of him. It needs to be somebody that's going to elevate them up. I mean, given
Cody Rhodes.
well, when Cody comes back from his pec tear, that would be great for him. But I think what they're going to do. This is what I think. This is just me. I think they're going to split the titles up. I think he's going to beat Drew this time, and then they're going to have some kind of deal where maybe they can take the WWE Championship and get it off of Roman so it can be on a separate show. I think they'll have some kind of three-way match, like say they give Drew another shot at it, and they will go, this is just for the WWE. We're going to split it back up. Have Drew and maybe this Karrion Kross that just come back, and maybe Drew pins Karrion or Karrion pins Drew. That way Roman actually doesn't get pinned to take a loss. That title comes off of him and goes on to somebody else.
Okay.
And then they separate him. And I think Roman should carry the title all the way into WrestleMania. But what they're going to do...
Well, then who are they going to have him fight there? Is this
they're going to have... He's going to
bring
wrestle
back Cena?
No,
or?
he's going to wrestle The Rock at WrestleMania. It's in Hollywood. It's probably the biggest match that you could possibly make. And they've went so far into planning this, that on the Young Rock TV show, they had The Rock when he was just out of college talking like in a room with his parents and stuff, and young Roman was there because they're really related in real life. And they did a thing where the little Roman was like, one day we're going to have a match at WrestleMania and you must acknowledge me and stuff like that. Like they used it in the show. So
I watched, I don't remember who it is, that Ariel Wani or whatever. He interviewed The Rock and talked about, what match brings you back. Because he says, obviously I'm not done wrestling.
Yeah, he doesn't have a proper retirement.
He said, it has to be a match that either, whether he wins or loses, he even said, puts somebody over to complete stardom, and the only person that is Roman.
Roman, yeah.
And but I don't know if The Rock can go away. Of course, every one of them went away on a loss. I mean, Taker.
They all go out on a loss. Nobody goes out on a win. It's the whole point.
I don't know if that
actually technically Taker's last match was against AJ Styles, and it was a win. So
okay.
Technically, it was at that WrestleMania right before COVID, and they did like the whole theatrical one, which was pretty awesome, and it was perfect for Taker, and he rides off on the bike and everything. But you were talking about Ariel Helwani. I saw he was talking to somebody. It might have been Michael Bisping or somebody like that, because he's got that huge nose. And someone says, "Does your wife get tired of you fucking her with her nose or something, with your nose or something like that?" And he just laughs because he just ate shit from those.
Well, so I just watched one where it had Rampage Jackson and him, and Rampage is like, "I heard from my people you've been talking shit."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No." He's like, "Let's squash this beef now." And he goes, "What? I mean, you want to fight?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "I mean, let's squash this beef." He goes, "Those are fighting words." And he said,
and Rampage just keeps on after him like
he
that.
Goes, and Ariel Wani goes, "I mean, I might be able to like get you with my nose one shot, but I don't think I have the reach." And
he takes a lot of shit for people, but everybody likes him. They just fuck with him a lot.
I
like Ariel Helwani. He does great interviews.
It was pretty funny.
Now, so since we're talking about wrestling, you want to go ahead and talk about Clash of the Castle a little bit, and maybe do some predictions here?
You had the things up, and we'll do predictions and then see how wrong or right or
so we'll start
we are
here at the bottom, which Seth Rollins versus Riddle.
I'm gonna go Seth Rollins.
That's who you got. You gonna write this down?
Yeah, I'll do it.
So you're gonna take. I'll take. I don't know, man. He hasn't been winning anything, but I would take Seth Rollins for some reason there.
Okay. So yeah, although they're starting to put Riddle over, I think if
you like him.
I don't. I think I could like him. I think he's athletically, he's all of those things. I don't like his shtick. And
you don't like his stick? His stick is your stick.
What? No, because my stick's not the douchebag stoner.
But it's a stoner stick.
But that's fine. He could be the stoner. He could the tough guy MMA stoner. I don't like the skateboardy.
Yeah, it's like Spicoli.
Yeah, it's just too much. And I think, yeah, that's my problem with it. I don't like the no shoes.
I don't like that either. It bothers me.
I just think with a better outfit and because he's body type, all those things. I mean, he's a wrestler.
Doesn't it look like he smells?
Probably, but he makes stuff. He's kind of like, even not to bring him up, but like a Logan Paul type guy. He makes it look really easy, pretty quick.
Yeah,
it
he's
pisses
athletic.
a lot of guys that have done it for a long time that don't do it very good off.
That's we'll talk about it after this. But a guy like CM Punk doesn't have a tenth of the athleticism that Logan Paul or Riddle has.
No, but he had. I think at one point in his career he had close, but what he had was that it factor. Even
he had the
the same reason you loved him and I didn't at the time was because he draws you one way or the other, just like he still does now, and you'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a draw. He's a draw. I don't know what it is exactly.
It's
But he
the
was
problem
the-
is now he thinks he's more than he is.
But he
and
was
he's not.
he was the against the establishment guy.
Yeah,
original.
well, that's always what's worked. So
yeah.
next match we got Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley and her group Dakota Kai and Io Sky. I could care less about this match at all. I like Bayley, and that's all the only person in this thing I even
Bianca's
like.
the black chick, right?
Yeah.
I'm picking her, and I'm picking their team.
Okay, I'll take Bayley.
So you're taking the same.
I don't
one?
know. No, I'm gonna take the
Sky
opposite.
okay.
Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Okay.
I can't stand that Dakota Kai. Io Sky is okay. She doesn't speak any English at all.
Even
Neither
if I
does
watch
Asuka.
it, I'll pause the girls' matches and wait till the guys, but that's fine.
Okay.
I'm for all women's sports except for WWE.
Well, there's such a big tier. You've got like the top performers who girls are like
Yeah,
Charlotte
they're
could wrestle with any of these guys and
I
be
know
just
they're
as
just
good.
not that fun. They're still not.
Well,
I don't think they move the same, and their moves don't look as cool. No, I'm just joking.
depends who it is.
A couple of those girls are.
The next match that's on here is Sheamus and Gunther, the Intercontinental Championship match. This match will probably open the show, is what I'm thinking, and it's going to be a banger, dude. These two guys will beat the shit out of each
Sheamus
other.
is trying to get back on where that run he had 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
where he was that top dog. If he just wasn't so ugly,
He's
he
just
would
too
change-
white, man.
if he just changed his look up or like stop with the, he just is so ugly, man.
I liked it when he had back the last time he was champ when he had like his
See, I like the only had one time when he had almost like a full beard and it was actually like grown in pretty decent.
yeah.
I like that. And
but then he
had-
started braiding
yeah,
it.
that's what I didn't like. So
Have you ever watched this Gunther wrestle? He used to be Walter. He's a big dude. He's lost a bunch of weight and got in shape. He is stiff, man. These guys, look him up. WWE. Weight loss. There you go. That was it back there. But he is big, and he's the guy top right with the title on.
Okay, yes, I've seen
He
him.
used to be a lot bigger,
Yeah.
and he's uglier now that he's skinnier. But man, these two are gonna hurt each other. They're gonna come out.
That's one thing about like I don't really been a Sheamus guy, but he does go all out with all of his moves.
Yeah,
especially for a big dude.
They're gonna be.
They smash.
They're gonna smack. Yeah, because he's huge. Sheamus is like 260 pounds. He's a big old white.
Just
boy.
because I don't know the other guy and he's a
champ.
He's the champ. I'm gonna go with Sheamus.
I'm gonna take Sheamus too. This guy can't even talk. Like it doesn't work for me if you can't at least talk.
Well, if you have a guy that can talk for you, it does because that used to be the huge. Like when I got into wrestling, it
Yeah.
was Iron Sheik and those guys come out and they'd have other people.
What
talk
about
for them
what
or-
was that dude's the black guy with the big belly? Kamala?
Uh-huh.
Not Kamala.
Well, Kamala was one of them too.
Is that he was like
Yeah.
that guy? Man, I was scared shitless of him when I was a
because
kid.
he had like the shit painted
Yeah,
on his face,
the star on
and,
his face and stuff.
And there was another one that was like him that was the same way, the Viscera or whatever. That he was the same way. He didn't talk. He just stood there. He had the purple outfit and was all
And
fucking.
I mean, even when the Undertaker came, he didn't say nothing. He was so scary.
Kane didn't talk for
Yeah, and then he was like
the first 2 or 3 years or whatever.
Yeah. Next match would be Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler. I think we're both on the exact same page. Liv Morgan, she's barely.
But she's still the champ, right?
Yeah, she's still the champ.
Is this for the champ?
Yes.
She'll keep it. I'm picking her. I don't want her to, but that's who's.
I
gonna
think
win.
she's just horrible. She's decent looking, and that's it.
So who you
Shayna
pick?
Baszler, she's an ex-MMA chick. In real life, Shayna could kill her within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like literally kill her.
Well, a lot of these matches, I think that's how. Very few. I mean, like a Brock Lesnar would probably annihilate Roman Reigns pretty quick in real
Probably
life.
in real life, yeah.
So that's where. But I get this. That's what wrestling there. It's sold on. Their
But they're-
superpowers.
I think the difference between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar is a smaller margin.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
than
with you.
these two.
No, but I guess even it brings me the which was one of my favorite guys when he was there, and my son's probably favorite wrestler of all time, Rey Mysterio, because he makes you believe.
Yeah.
Even.
But
Ric
it's more
Flair, though.
believable. It's
Ric
more
Flair
believable.
beating fucking some of these guys when he was way smaller than half the guys he was.
But Ric Flair's not as small as you think he is
Well,
either.
I know, but he's 45 or 50 pounds less than Hogan, and he's
Yeah.
I mean, so some of those, or even the Sting, and some it just you have to believe in the unbelievable.
But the
to
thing
watch
is, though,
wrestling.
is
But Liv sucks.
Yeah,
She's
she
just not a good
sucks.
wrestler too.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
She's
But that's where you got to believe in her superpower.
she don't have a superpower. Her superpower is she has a nice ass, and that's it.
Okay.
That's her power.
Who do you pick?
I want Shayna Baszler to win,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go with that. Next match is Roman and Drew for the undisputed Universal Championship. Obviously, I'm gonna take Roman all the way. I think there's gonna be, Sami Zayn, the Bloodline, Karrion Kross are all gonna be around. I don't know what's gonna happen.
That Drew is gonna win, but not win. I think he's gonna get a 3 count.
Like a DQ or something.
Nope. I think he's
Like
gonna
he should
3
have won.
count with the ref
Knocked out.
getting pulled out from him or knocked out or something, and then it's gonna be that thing where he gets help
Yeah,
and he wins.
that's what I like.
I know you do. I get it. I get
like it.
So I think I'm gonna pick Drew just to.
Who do you think's better looking, Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns?
Probably Roman Reigns. I mean, as far as, actually, I put that wrong. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Drew's a very attractive. I mean, just because if he wasn't a big muscular dude, he wouldn't be attractive at all.
You don't think so?
No. And I do think he's more attractive than Liv Morgan, though. No.
You would rather be with Drew than Liv Morgan?
Well, talent-wise.
Talent. Oh, okay.
I only am into my wrestlers for the talent.
Okay.
We've talked about that.
I know you are. Well,
we'll look at this next week.
do you want to
and
talk
see.
about the AEW match, that even though you didn't really see it?
Yeah, I watched because I'm involved in 2 or 3 wrestling groups. I've heard a lot of debate on it, but the championship in the AEW was John Moxley versus your boy that
He's
not
not my
your
boy
boy
anymore.
no more.
No.
He was like your all-time favorite.
He wasn't my all-time favorite. He was my favorite
up
at that
there.
point in time.
Man,
yeah.
I went to a wrestling match with you here where all you did is talked about him.
He
And
wasn't even there,
on-
was he?
Nope. But and he was on a podcast at the time, and we listened to it on the way there.
Probably so.
And that was when he was first getting into MMA, and you thought he was going to actually be decent at MMA, and I kept going, dude's going to get killed.
He didn't.
So
I think the reason why I went
and now
so sour.
I like him, and now he's my favorite AEW wrestler besides
he's-
Sting when Sting makes his appearances.
The reason why I don't like him is because he spent all that time after he left wrestling just talking shit on it, just saying, I don't like this fake shit. It's not real. It's fake fighting. I'm a UFC fighter now. Then he goes and gets fucking destroyed. And his whole image when he was in WWE was that he was this tough guy. Well, you can't come back. You can't. First of all, you can't talk shit on something. That'd be like
But Brock did it.
he didn't talk shit on wrestling. He was just said he
Well,
didn't
he
care
did.
for it. He didn't
Well,
say that
that's
it
what
was
he said. He
fake.
said well, but he did do a little bit of that. He was on a show or whatever, or he was saying the same thing. Was I'm going to go prove I'm really the biggest badass.
Yeah, and
you
he
know,
did.
I know.
But Punk didn't. He got fucking destroyed.
And again, Punk tried it at 35 years old.
Yeah, he was old,
and
but he's a guy with very little athletic ability that tried to do a sport at an old advanced stage where he had no business being there.
yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he tried hard, but you can't talk shit on something that you're a tough guy. Go get your ass kicked, then run out of money and come back and pretend like
Well,
you're
I
a
think
tough
that's what
guy
most
again.
of them do. I mean, that's what, like, of course, some of the, like me, a guy of my time that was real similar, who got real big, hated the sport constantly, but kept doing it, would be like a Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, or whatever. And I know he's
Yeah, but
different.
he was probably really tough in real life.
Yeah,
You
you're
don't think
right,
Sid Vicious beat the fuck out of dudes in bars
No, but
every night?
He left to go play pro softball and then kept failing at that. He would leave WWE to play pro softball, hurt himself there, fail out, whatever.
He also broke his the most disgusting leg break in history.
Yeah. But then he would come back every time he was broke, and then they, and that's why all the wrestlers through history hated him, because he'd come back, get a huge contract, show up half-assed for a lot of matches, and then gone.
Yeah.
So
Well, so they had a champion versus Punk was the AEW World Champion. He got hurt. You know how he hurt himself?
how?
Jumping into the crowd and broke his foot.
Well, that's going all out.
Yeah, something
Boy, when
like
you
that.
fall off a wagon, you fall way off it.
Yeah, I do. So then Moxley
He went
became.
you found out he was a liberal, man, and you hated
Fuck,
that
I knew
guy.
he was a liberal before.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you?
How many straight edge dudes are not?
What do you
liberal.
mean? I thought most of them were hardcore right. That's the straight
No.
edge thing is a hardcore right thing.
I don't think so.
What?
Yeah, no. Look, I guess, as my wife would say, Google it.
Well, we will. I don't know. I do want to
don't
Google
know.
that. Is straight edge Republican or
Straight
Democrat?
edge liberal. I would assume it's liberal.
Is if we're gonna have to do that, is straight edge a liberal or
Look at it.
conservative? The culture came from an 80s punk song called Straight Edge, written by. It's considered by many liberals to be the most conservative movement.
That was
Straight
during the
edge
80s.
follows something. No, I would say straight edge to me would be right.
I don't know. That's not the reason why I don't like Punk. It's
Okay.
because he quit and talked shit. Anyways, they had a match. Moxley, I like Moxley a lot. Just his attitude and everything. Well, anyways, the match lasted like 5 minutes.
Really.
I think Punk was still hurt, and they
No,
just need to get it over
And he
with.
still has a low gas tank because he really hasn't been back
Yeah.
that long.
He did. He got like one move in on Moxley, and the rest of the time Moxley just dominated the shit out of him. I think it was just
Moxley won.
Oh yeah, like within 5 minutes. It was. I think it was just a way to
He's
take the
their-
title off of him.
I was gonna say, and he's their huge thing though. He's the. I mean, they did.
He's
that.
not supposed to be though.
Moxley isn't.
No.
Why?
Well, I mean, they got Jericho, they got Punk, they got
Well, I know, but they
Daniel
did a whole. They
Bryan
did a
Danielson.
movie about him too. I mean, he's in that fucking MMA wrestler movie. Weird.
that was
thing.
when he was in WWE.
No, I thought that came out right when he was coming there. That was kind of the whole thing.
I don't.
I think that's
so.
even produced by the guy that runs AEW.
We'll have to look into that and get back to it on that. But you know
I
what?
still don't-
Have you seen his entrance?
Who?
Have you seen Moxley's entrance? What he comes out to?
See, he's my least favorite wrestler probably in the last 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, but you haven't seen him since he's not in WWE.
I watched him do a whole. He's the worst fucking show.
I don't know.
I hated the Crazy Act, and I hate this Nobody Likes Me act even more than the Crazy Act he did.
When he was Dean Ambrose, it was like, as the kids say, cringe.
I like
But
Dean
just-
Ambrose, the original, before he went.
When he was in the Shield. Well, he's kind of like that now, but like he comes out to Wild Thing. He comes out through the crowd, just cock of the walk. I don't know. He just do it on YouTube. Entrances with an E, by the way.
No, I was doing an interview. I wanted to see the one. I know. That's why. I was trying to do an interview actually, but I was trying to see where one he just did where it drove me crazy.
I think like we could all be friends with Moxley.
Probably so. No,
He's cool.
I think I just don't like his,
in a weird way, in a really weird way. Moxley reminds me of my cousin Cole. I don't know what it is, but he reminds me of Cole. Just pull up his entrance into this match. Right there. Do that one. Top left.
that one.
No, not that one. Do entrance CM Punk.
Where I don't see it.
Right there. Third over.
That one.
Yeah.
We can't actually play it on there because I'm afraid. Well, maybe with something like this, we'll see what it. If it's Wild Thing, I don't know how that'll work.
Mr. Wild Thing's dead, probably, I'm sure.
Yeah, but he always wants his money.
Seen JR's gray beard he's got now? Kind of
It
hides
is
his,
crazy seeing him over there, though.
it hides his Bell's palsy pretty decent. Here we go.
Oh. I get it. That gets people excited.
But just how he comes out. Tell me that dude don't at least appear to be a tough son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah, no. But you
I
tell
would-
me you can't go walk out there and act pumped and drink water bottles and throw
I don't
them
know.
out?
Just he seems cool.
No, yeah.
I thought when he was Dean Ambrose at the end, he was a douchebag. But this, he seems cool. Yeah.
Well, football's kicking off. I meant to have a couple for this week to pick some games for next week. Maybe I'll try to send TJ some throughout this week, and then to start next show, we'll tell you the games we picked and what we picked, and go from there. At least pick 3 or 4. Pick KU's first game and Michigan's first game. And
Yeah, our first game is Friday.
Okay.
I did see about
16
Michigan.
days, or I guess not now, 14 days or something till opening day for football. So, pro.
Yeah. I did see that Michigan's going to play McNamara first week and then the other guy the second week and then decide in the third week.
I don't know.
Why?
I
It wasn't McNamara the starter last year?
Well,
Cade McNamara?
it should be J.J. McCarthy to begin with.
It's not.
I know. But it needs to. It's his time. We're going to lose him. He's a stud. He's the quarterback that everybody's going to. But we have a coach that just. It's time to move on. But we're not gonna. That's okay. If he wins us something, I'll regress and I'll shut up. But he's just.
But didn't McNamara do good last year?
He wasn't bad. No, he struggled. He just not that. He did great with a good defense and with things around him. But no, he wasn't a game-winning quarterback. No. No, and they would play.
Is he related to that McNamara from Penn State?
I'm not sure. I know J.J. McCarthy or whatever is what's his name's little brother from Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of
back.
that, did you see Sam Darnold that's hurt?
Oh yeah,
out
but
for the season.
They say season. I didn't see season, but I knew at least 6 to 8 weeks.
I did see.
It was already announced that Baker was going to be starter for week 1. So
did you see Chet Holmgren is out for the whole season?
Yeah,
doesn't it seem like that happens every year that somebody gets hurt like that?
Yeah, and it's always a star. But my son is a huge. Well, I don't know about huge. He's the only Thunder fan left outside of Oklahoma City, and he's an old school. Back when they had Westbrook and all that. But he didn't change teams. He didn't follow the guys around. He still likes them, and that was what he was excited they were building. He walked out right when it happened, and he's like, "See what happened? Normal Thunder stuff, So, yeah, that all these young kids, I hate seeing it, and especially like him. He seems like a pretty good kid, but God, just being so skinny, so little, you knew something was going to happen. So, gives him a year to get stronger and let that team. They got 400 first-round draft picks in the next 3 years.
They sure do.
They're going to be loaded for some time to come. So. I'm not too worried about them. We got through a couple things this week. I mean,
yeah.
I think we hit some sports, we hit some politics, we hit some wrestling. I don't think made nobody too mad, nobody too happy, but that's okay. That's what learning's about.
Can't make everybody happy when you're learning.
Oh man, if you made we can't make anybody happy anymore, or everybody for damn sure. So
yeah.
Well, we appreciate everybody listening. I'll release probably the audio sometime tonight. Thanks to everybody that did check us out live on Facebook. Gonna play with that video and put it up on the YouTube